If you want to understand a tiny fragment of the love sickness, the heavenly obsession that the Jewish people have with Jerusalem and what it means for your life and your heart today, then you've come to the right place. A deeper connection with the holy city will help give voice and clarify a core part of your Jewish identity. Shalom, my name is Noach, and welcome to my Torah Thoughts channel, where I, as a rabbi and psychotherapist, delve into the areas of Judaism, mental health, and personal growth. The first thing I want to share with you when thinking about Jerusalem is the number 810. The number 810 is significant inasmuch as it is the estimate of the number of times that the word Yerushalayim or Jerusalem and Sion, Zion, is mentioned in the Tanakh, in the 24 books of the Jewish Torah Bible. Sion is also a very good code word for Jerusalem. It is all over our texts. It is all over our prayers multiple times a day. It is in our consciousness all the time. First thing we need to understand in order to get into why we are so obsessed with Jerusalem is through a very famous psalm, Psalm 137. We talk about this connection that we have. Al Naharos Bavel Sham Yeshavnu. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat, we dwelled. Gam Bechinu Bezachrenu et Sion. In that state of being in Bavel, which is the archetype of being in exile, it is the place that exile began, of Jewish sovereignty in Eretz Yisrael over 2,500 years ago, being lost for the first time. We were crying about Zion, about Zion. Eich nashir et shir Hashem al admas nechar. How can we sing a song to Hashem? How can we continue to sing the song of Yiddishkeit, of being Jewish, of our relationship to God and the land He gave us on a admat nechar, on a foreign soil? How can we continue on? Im eshkachech Yerushalayim tishkach yimini. If I forget you, Jerusalem, let my right hand be forgotten. Tidbak lashoni lechiki im lo eskarechi. Let my tongue stick to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember. Im lo a'ale et Yerushalayim al rosh simchasi. These are the words that have rung in the ears of every Jew throughout all exiles. A part of us knows that without Jerusalem, we cannot just live normally. Our hands, our mouth, our faculties of action are spiritually as if defunct, God forbid, if we forget. Its purpose, its meaning must be as real to us as our hands and tongue. Its memory needs to be infused at every moment of who we are and how we live. But what are we yearning for? What did we have in Jerusalem in years past? Let's go back to the heyday of Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon. We had Eretz HaKodesh, we were in the Holy Land. We had Malchut, we had Jewish independence and sovereignty and kingship. We had the Beis HaMikdash, the holy home for Hashem, where his presence was felt like a shachen, like a neighbor. Shechina, the divine presence, as Rabbi Sachs itself says, comes from the word shachen, neighbor. We had Nevi'im, we had prophecy, the highest level of divine connection, direct words and revelations from Hashem. And so just knowing what it meant to us is the first part of understanding Jerusalem. It's a deep yearning that we have in the heart of our hearts, in our bodies, everywhere we are, that we had something and we need to keep the memory of it. And what is that thing that we had? It's called Yerushalayim. One way of looking at the word Yerushalayim comes from two words, Yerusha and Shalem. Yerusha means inheritance. Shalem means completeness, wholeness, peace. So put those two together and you have Yerushalayim as complete inheritance. It's the total big picture, the representation of everything about what it means to be a Jew. And all about being Jewish is the fusing of spirituality into the physical and through the city of Jerusalem where we live out all the values. And now I want to just tell you a little bit about the glimpse of what it could be for us and what it will be, God willing, and what it's becoming in our future. We're always moving closer in time to Mashiach. Things are getting, even though we had this glory of the past, things are still getting closer to the ultimate redemption. And to understand Jerusalem in the future is to understand what it means to be a Jew today and what it's always meant to be a Jew. So what will be? What will be? Our Nevi'im, our prophets of old have described it for us. And Zechariah is a very great example of that. And he says, it's going to be a wonder. This new connection to Jerusalem in the future is going to be a wonder beyond wonders. And just to kind of run over what it's going to look like. First and foremost, Shavti et Zion v'shachanti betoch Yerushalayim. Hashem is going to come back to Zion in Yerushalayim. Moshiach Ami is going to save the Jewish people from the exile. That's what we've talked about, the kibbutz galuyot, the ingathering of the exiles of all Jews from European lands and the persecution there, from Arab Muslim lands. All across the world, there have been persecution against the Jewish people. Hashem is going to save us. V'shachnu besoch Yerushalayim, and bring us to Yerushalayim. And we're seeing this on beginning stages in unbelievable ways today. And you're going to see ad yeshvu skenim uskenot birchovot. The people, the elderly, are going to be on the streets. Yeladim ve'yeladot mesachakim. They're going to be playing. Children are going to be on the streets playing. You see this all the time. So we're in this kind of like moment where this ultimate understanding of being Jewish in Jerusalem, the Jewish future, the Jewish promise, which felt like a pipe dream, is actually starting to materialize and happen in our generation, and we need to see it. It's not the full picture, it's not the complete picture, but it's something. We're going to become a nation again. And Hashem's going to be our creator. And of course, he's always our creator, but we're going to have this tangible, like a brit chadasha, I think it's Yirmiyahu, a completely renewed covenant in this place. Veitem bracha. And it's not just going to be for us, we're going to become a bracha to the whole world. That's the promise to Avram, that the Jewish people are going to be back in Yerushalayim, the place of our complete inheritance. But it's going to be not just for us, it's going to be for all of the world. And that's why we say, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. Our Torah, our connection to what it means to be Jewish, comes from Tzion, comes from Jerusalem, comes from the place of the merging of our spiritual values into the physical world on the highest level. And with that godly consciousness and with that emanating of the light of Torah in the world, v'lo limdu od milchama. There's going to be no more war. Ki basi based tefillah yikare lechol amim, and the whole world's going to come to Yerushalayim for spiritual rejuvenation and connection. I believe it's Habakkuk that says that the world's going to be filled with the knowledge of Hashem as the waters fill the sea. There's going to be an incredible God consciousness and awakening in the world, and it's all stemming from Yerushalayim. And Jerusalem is really this yearning for the complete and perfected world, and that's why we say that we should always yechaven es libo keneged Yerushalayim. You always want to have directing your heart to Yerushalayim, all that it means and all that it represents about the Jewish people. And that is why we always say at the Seder, we say that on Yom Kippur, L'shana haba Yerushalayim habnuya. Let's get to the ultimate place where people of hope and optimism, and that is what Jerusalem represents a little bit in the Jewish heart. It is the ultimate purpose of our existence, of being an or legoyim, a light to the nations, an am segula, a special people, a people of speech, teaching spirituality, of being spiritual leaders, and that emanating from Jerusalem to the rest of the world. This is the land Hashem gave us, and we hope to be a complete bracha with it. And the more we yearn for it, pray for it, hope for it, please, we have to do that in this world. And the more we develop that connection to it and all that it means to us, the stronger our identity as complete Jews become. Yerusha Shalem. So I hope this was helpful. Please remember what Yerushalayim means to us. Yearn for it, pray for it, hope for it, and we should see the shalom that we are all hoping and yearning for. If this is meaningful for you, please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening.